Good morning, everybody. I want to start out by thanking you for attending the meeting last week. I hope you got a lot out of it, and we thank you for your participation and your vote, and I'm pretty sure the related folks got a lot out of hearing your questions and concerns and comments. And our next meeting, which is the annual meeting, is February 23rd. So make sure you got that on your calendars. Today, 11:30 to 5, is a meditation retreat. So don't stress, meditate. And the last announcement is the office will be closed tomorrow in honor of Martin Luther King Day. We shall overcome.
So I'm grateful that we are together this morning because we have an opportunity to be in this space, and I'm grateful for all of you because I know for many it's really cold outside. So no one's leaving their homes, Nancy, right? They're staying inside because it's so cold. Of course, I remember growing up and going to school on the East Coast. This is like summertime for all of us back in the East. So I will be great that we can get through this together. So this is MLK weekend, and I'm really inspired by the character and the spirit of what he represented and all that he offered the world. So much gratitude for his gift and the power of his voice, all that he contributed. And even though I'm very much of this mindset now that we're not looking for anyone to really save us because we're going to save ourselves, I do think it's important that we remember the character and strength of what he offered, the words that he shared to the world, and what it meant for all of us. And so I prepared some gathering words to get us started this morning. And I do it also with the knowledge that even now there are so many hundreds, if not thousands of folks just north of us in the LA area providing such good relief and hope and hospitality to all the folks who are impacted by the LA fires. I think I wrote these words for them, all the first responders, all the folks serving on the front lines, and for all of us who deeply care for ourselves, for our community, and for our wider world. So I'm going to read these words with you. Your portion will be in bold, okay? Here they are. Teacher, the crowd asked, what should we do? Yeah, I wrote that last part. I got that from MLK. He wrote a speech and delivered it not long before his assassination, where he boiled it down so beautifully. And someone asked him, what is it that we ought to be doing? What should be our charge? What should be our purpose in the world? And in his own special way, he encouraged the folks to do good. And then over time, people like Marion Williamson and others have taken that same spirit of example, Mike, and they said, actually, it's do the good that is yours to do. And so I was inspired by those words, and I put that in our gathering words for the morning. And I realized that sometimes doing the good that is ours to do, sometimes it's not all that easy, and it's all that hard. Read the next part for me. Cyrus? Yeah, so I think now at this point in my life, as we celebrate this MLK weekend, I look at all the resource and power that we have, the voice that we share as a community. And I'm taking all of that, I'm bottling up all of that potential. And as we move forward into the new year ahead and look forward to all that it has in store for us, we can be alive in knowing that we are doing our part and that we are trusting the universe to do the rest. What a great, great peace of mind and comfort that gives me. And you know what else it does for me is that it alivens my spirit It makes me alive for this day and all the days that are to come. And if you agree with me, I'm going to invite you to stand as you are able, and I'm going to invite you to sing a song with me. It's called I Am Alive with the Spirit of Love. Let's stand as you are able. Let's sing I'm Alive this morning.
This might be the easiest lyric we sing, but I'm finding these days it's hard to feel it. So let's get there. I am alive with the Spirit of love.
I am alive with the Spirit of love. I am alive with the Spirit of love. I am alive with the Spirit of love.
I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of love. Let's do it again and convince ourselves. I am alive with the Spirit of love. Say it again. I am alive with the Spirit of love. I am alive with the Spirit of love. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of love. Now ask your neighbor, are you alive with the Spirit of love? Ask somebody else. And somebody else. Are you alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of love? Now this, ask someone and answer them. Are you alive with the Spirit? Now answer. I am alive with the Spirit of love. Are you alive with the Spirit of love? I am alive with the Spirit of love. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of love. Now we are alive with the Spirit of love. 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 We are alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of love.
Hey. Yeah. All right.
We're going to do the choreography next week. Teach them.
Okay. I'll learn it. I want to just take 1 second here for a happy thought. Fortunately for my brother Tom Soto, who lives in Pacific Palisades, he lives about 2 blocks up from Will Rogers State Beach. What occurred, they were evacuated for the fire, and they went and stayed at the Hilton in Santa Monica. But what happened was a gentleman and 3 of his kids, late teens and 20s, protected like 7 or 8 houses on his street. And guess what? All of those houses survived the fire. They had water. So they were tying hoses to the poles and sprinkling down roofs and yards, and where embers were lighting, they were putting them out. So he, fortunately, his home and several others were saved, and they are an island of saved homes all around blackened, barren land that has been burned down. One piece of good news is that his home and everything survived. So I thank God for that, and I just wanted to, not everything went totally bad. There was good news. There are days when the whole world feels like it's on fire, as we know. There are days when we are inundated with bad news. Days when we are up to our eyes in grief. Days when we have reached the end of our rope. On those days, we reach for what is enduring. On those days, we return to this brave space. On those days, we light our candle for peace. On those days, we sing. On those days, in the spirit of MLK, we fight tooth and nail to hold on to hope. So in an effort to release the fears that trap us, we name them and give them up to the universe. For wars that cannot find an end, for children who cannot find food, for teenagers who cannot find peace, for people who are lonely, for people spending their holidays in the hospital, for the tender challenge of every new beginning. May we be reminded that we too can make a difference. When the weight of the world overwhelms us, we may be reminded that our dream looks like giving your second coat away. May mystery infuse us with hope, swat away our insecurities, downplay our doubts. Change comes from small acts of great love. So with hope in our hearts, we will roll up our sleeves. With hope in our hearts, we strive to do the good that is ours to do.
Before we move forward, I want to just take an opportunity. Let's give Mike a hand. Let's give him a hand for that. Thank you, Mike. I do want to take this opportunity to do exactly what Mike just said. Before we send up our love to ourselves and to our community, our brothers, sister, our family, all around the world, let's just take a moment to manifest peace and gratitude for all the good that is happening in here and out there. Speaking of out there, I do want to send my deep love and gratitude for the ceasefire that has been brokered between Israel and Hamas. As you know, this is something that has been a sore subject for mine over the last months, and I haven't been very happy about what was taking place over there. But today, I am so glad I can stand here and say, finally, we have a brokered ceasefire. I don't hear amen for that, but I'm going to say amen. Amen for the ceasefire. I haven't asked for amen in months, Peter. Yeah. I'm grateful because to me, while it has taken far too long to get to this point, nevertheless, we are here. And now I'm hoping, now I'm praying. I am hoping and praying so deeply in my heart that the hard work continues so that the deal can remain and the peace will continue to flourish. So I want to light our peace candle this morning for an enduring peace in the Middle East and here in our communities. And then I want to sing a song with you that Stevie Wonder popularized. I just called to say I love you. This is my love song to the kids in the Middle East.
On a personal note, I never do that, do I? All the time. I thought about this and what Rod was saying, and this morning I took the time to just reach out to a couple of friends, just got their voicemails, but called to just say, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
And I think right now, start doing that. As I was driving here, people are out in this glorious day in the sun staring at their phones. Don't just stare at your phone. Use it as a tool and call somebody. Reach out. Walk over to your neighbors. That's what we need right now. No New Year's Day. some. I just called to say I love you. You go up the bottom of my heart. Good job.
Yeah, you can give yourselves a hand. You sounded great. You sounded that great. You did. So that is my love song to the Middle East this morning. And it's also my love song to all of you, with gratitude in my heart for all that we are manifesting here at NCC for Laguna Beach and for the wider world. You know, I've had a great week since last Sunday, in that I asked those who were here last week to send me your words for 2025. You'll remember my word is uncertainty, and I asked yours for my own wisdom, for my own listening, and you actually got back to me. I got a whole beautiful stream of words for 2025 from several of you, which I'm going to share later on. But for now, I want to offer some gratitude, because I realize we're about the middle way through January now, which is really hard for me to believe that. Today, January 19th, who would know that, right? But I have gratitude, because even though we're in a new year, I'm still living off the good parts of 2024. You know, there was a lot of good last year. You know, there were some tough times, and we've got some things that we got to deal with starting tomorrow. Lord knows that. But there were some good things in 2024. And one of them that I'm celebrating was the fact that I got to be in conversation with Amy Tan, and to be able to chat with her about her new book and the birds and the wisdom that she received over the years, having studied the birds. And the reason I'm mentioning Amy today is because one of the motivations for the book that she wrote about birds was President Trump's first inauguration. Yeah. Many, many years ago now, right? So she wrote this book as a response to his first election. And it's interesting, on the eve of another inauguration, her biographer reached out to her to ask about her latest wisdom, given the fact that he's about to be inaugurated again tomorrow on January 20th. And it's interesting that she was asked the question, and I love what she said. I'm paraphrasing because I don't have enough time to really read it all to you, because I don't want to keep you here all morning. But if I boil it down, I thought her response was so beautiful. She said to me, and to all of us who are wondering about her latest thought, she said, honestly, there's nothing else for me to say. I've said it all. She said, when are we going to learn that we are our saviors. We are our heroes. She said, as soon as we realize that we are meant to help and serve and honor one another, the better off the country and the world will be. I'm just waiting for someone to get it. That's Amy Tan, y'all. Amy Tan. That's good wisdom. It's almost like she heard my Christmas message when I said we're here to save ourselves and not wait for another. Maybe she did, I don't know. But that's the point. She said, I don't have any new wisdom. I've shared it all. Beautiful. Because I agree with her. Let me show this image. Cyrus. This is one of the beautiful illustrations that she put in the book, which I'm holding in my hand again. And it's a reminder about the life cycle of the birds that she studies in her backyard on a daily basis. Because in her studying, she realized that there's a trust that comes with the relationship that she develops with her bird companions. There's a give and take. There's a sharing and receiving, a giving out. There's a beautiful cyclic story that gets written every day when she steps out into her backyard. And then at the bottom, she's reminded that even this fledgling is going to have to go out and fend for itself. That even Godmother Amy does everything she can, invests all her strength and courage into these fledglings. Some of them will survive. Some of them obviously will not. But ultimately, there's going to come a time when they have to go out and fly and hunt and survive and fend for themselves. And she got to the point in the book, which I consulted again over the weekend, where she came to a place of understanding about how life works itself. How she no longer is sad when the fledglings have to go out and fend for themselves. She celebrates that day because she's done the good that is hers to do. And she trusts that the rest will come for them. I think that's such powerful wisdom. The idea that I'm not here to do it all. We're not here to do it all. It's not our task to check off all the boxes. It's simply our call to check off at least one and trust that the rest will come. I find that to be so liberating in the spirit of MLK, one who did his part and trusted the rest to us. And even in Amy's simple wisdom, that she has no new wisdom to contribute, but trusting that the rest will come, I find that powerful. I find that a gift. I find that a powerful lesson for those of us who are seeking hope in the midst of the unseen. You know, I think about NCC, I think about our future forward, I think about where we are as an institution, as a family, as a community, and I'm encouraged that each and every day that we walk and live as a family, we're learning, just like these fledglings, to take it one step at a time and to trust that the rest will come. One great example of this is your own board, your own leadership. I've asked a group of folks to work with me on setting up your activities for my sabbatical that will take place later this year. And you know, it's powerful to me as I think about that leave. You know, as I shared last week, I'm now seeing it as a beautiful rallying cry, not something to be sad about or ashamed or to cower away from, but to actually use it as a tool, use it as an opportunity for us to ask the hard questions, to do what should be done so that when I go, this place continues as if I was still here. And when I come back, we pick up where we left off. There's a beautiful opportunity there to think about the tools and resources that ought to be gathered even before I go. Thinking about the finances and thinking about our leadership capacity and thinking about our project management and thinking about our events and all the stuff that's going to go into making sure this place is fine, even as Pastor Rod goes away to learn how to swim. There's a lot of power in that, doing the best we can with what we have and then trusting that the rest will come. Let me show you this image. So when I was a kid, one of my passions was going to a theme park in Memphis called Liberty Land. And Liberty Land had a powerful set of roller coasters that I used to ride over and over and over again as a kid. I loved this roller coaster because, see, back in the day, this was a wooden coaster. It's not like all this modern technology stuff that you see on the screen, you know, all this metal and shards and all. No. See, when I was a kid, it was wood, like the stuff you're sitting on right now, just wood. And I remember going up on the incline and hearing the creaks and the weird noises and maybe even a rat or two in the ground below us, right? And then thinking, what the heck have I gotten myself into? Why am I even thinking about sitting in a wooden cart on a wooden rail with all these other crazy people and doing it over and over and over again, up and down, side to side, crooks and creaks, and asking myself, am I really this silly? Am I really this crazy to be out here at 8 o'clock at night, darkness all around, and all I hear is just this weird metal on wood over and over and over again. But somehow, each and every time, we would get to the end, and we'd be smiling, and our hair would be all over the place when I still had hair. And there was still a great feeling, a sense of powerfulness, a sense of accomplishment, a sense that we got through it together. See, when I'm away on my leave, I'm going to go over to Sandusky, Ohio, Cedar Point Amusement Park, and I'm going to ride all the roller coasters at Cedar Point during my leave. And I'm not just doing this because I want to scream my lungs out, which I will do. And I'm not just doing this because I need to have a moment where I'm not thinking about NCC. I just have to get outside of my brain and do something powerful and something crazy, which I am going to do. I'm doing it also because as I think about where we are, the roller coaster we've been on, it's not a problem. It's not a negative. It's not something to be ashamed or afraid of. We are doing the hard work of transformation, and it feels like a roller coaster. It feels like those crooks and creaks. It feels like those rats below. It feels like those weird sounds. It feels like that clarion call just won't come. It feels sometimes like no one is there to tell us we're doing okay, but ultimately we get to the end of the journey, our hair all over the place, thriving, not simply surviving, but being together and knowing that we are moving in a direction that will change and transform this world. We will get to the end of the travail, and we'll trust that when we get there, we'll have everything that we need for the journey that is to come. So yeah, I'm gonna ride those roller coasters. I'm gonna have a good grand time. And somewhere in there, I'm gonna be reminded that this is just like my beloved NCC. And look, we're still here. The building is here. Our hearts are here. Our passion is still here. Our tenderness is still here. We are rocking, we are waving side to side with the winds all around us. And somehow, some way, we get to the end of that track and we see, wow, not only are we surviving, but we're ready for what is ahead. Now I got to say this. I have to be honest with you. This was a hard lesson for me these past 4 or 5 years. But now that I'm realizing it with you, now that I'm here with you in the moment, this 2025, my heart is full My heart is full. My gratitude is wide. I'm enjoying the ride with you, and I invite you to enjoy it with me. I try to wake up every morning with a smile on my face, knowing that we are doing something for current and future generations. And the meaning and the benefit of that will far outlive us. I think about the spirit of MLK and how he spoke against the racism and white privilege of his time, and the divisiveness and the loneliness and the pain and hurtfulness of his time. And knowing in the back of his mind, as he took those steps, as he went through that journey, as he took his seat on the roller coaster, he knew that he was playing his part. He was doing the good that is his to do and trusting that the rest will come, perhaps even after his death, but knowing that it will come. It must come. It shall come. Last week, I asked you, after hearing my word for 2025, that being uncertainty, I asked you to send me your own words for the year. And here's what you sent me. I got being, I got love, I got action, I got release, interconnectedness, alignment. And then in just the past couple of days, I got two more. I didn't get a chance to add them here, but I also got wonder, and I got openness. So I just want you to imagine wonder and openness added to that list for just a moment. It's a good list. That's your list. And as I think about your list, I'm encouraged because I realize now, after having consulted with your words, that there's a powerful truth emerging in the midst of all of this. See, we, in our own special way, we are imagining the spirit and power of what our spiritual center will contribute to the world. See, over the next 5-6 weeks before the end of March, I'm going to share with you the beginnings of a roadmap for 2025 and 2026 for our spiritual center. It's going to lay out the seeds of the good that is ours to do. And I'm going to be in conversation with you about this roadmap. We're going to have the back and forth. We're going to talk about it. But ultimately, this will be an invitation for us to live into the power of our own words as a community, not just mine. When I look at this and I study this list with all that it offers, I see a joy in it. I see a powerful openness in these words. I see a willingness to take the journey, to get on the roller coaster and see the journey that it has in store. I see a powerful interest in going through this path with a community of folk who feel the same way that we do. I'll put it a different way. I realize that when I see these words, I hear you saying back to me what I think is a very deep truth, that for far too long, we have persisted as part of an organization that is answering questions that are no longer being asked. I'm not talking about NCC. We're special. We're different. I'm talking about the universal church. I'm talking about organized religion. The questions that we are asking are not the questions on the lips of so many. I'm not saying we're special. I'm not saying we're unique. There are people asking the questions, but I'm talking about us being a part of a movement of folk who are asking the right questions that will ultimately become the questions in our culture. Not questions about right belief, but questions about call. What is my purpose in life? What am I here to do? Not questions about behaviors, but how can I be gentle and kind and open and compassionate in the world? Not questions about status and titles, and not even questions about who belongs, but to whom do I belong? Who is my neighbor? Who is my community? I want to be in a place that gives me the invitation to study and be with and wonder about those questions. I guess what I'm saying is that I feel like now we're starting to arrive at a sense of the questions that are all about community, questions that are all about being together, not loneliness, not divisiveness, not us and them. I love my family history. I love my church history. I love where I came from, but I'm in a different place now. My NCC is in a different place now. We are willing to ask the hard questions and to be in wonder about those questions and to make that the badge of honor, the thing that we celebrate for our days. I have a passion now with you for asking the right questions. I'll put it to you this way. I think for far too long we've persisted in a culture that has been so dogged on certainty and arriving at this idea between good and bad and those they get it and those who don't. You know, I was in a conversation not too long ago about this idea of good and bad government, you know. Somebody was going on and on and on about this idea of, well, you know, we don't really need it because it's so bad. You know, it's so bad. And I think that kind of question is just so reductionist. It doesn't get to the heart of what this thing is truly all about. Instead of asking me a question about whether or not we need a government, the question should have been, what kind of government do we want? That should have been the real conversation. If we took 5 days of the amount of money that we spend on our defense spending and put that towards health care and education and Peace Corps, a lot of good things would happen in our country. And that's just 5 days. I didn't even say a whole year. I said 5 days, the amount of money that we spend on militarism. If we just put that towards other stuff, it would change everything in our country. So it's not about whether or not we need these things. It's what kind of world do we want to live in? What kind of resources should be marshaled to make and create that world, to manifest that world? This is why we see our spiritual center as a different kind of place where we're not so interested in helping someone to have the right belief, but to really invite them on a journey of wonder and possibility, to give them the license to live the questions just as much as we are. I think in all of my living, all of my journey with you, all of my work that I've done with you, the work that we've accomplished together in these recent years, it's now crystallizing to this place of, wow, there's a whole movement of folk out there who want the same thing that we want. And we're willing to put our skin in the game to create this world in which we want to live. I know that it's going to take a lot of being. It's going to take a lot of love. It's going to take an active mind. It's going to take a willingness to release those things that trap us. It's going to take a desire to be interconnected within our humanity. And yes, it's going to take an alignment, a willingness to go and work for the greater good, to be connected with something greater than ourselves, to put aside that ego that comes with that and allow ourselves to be in, not without, and to do it with a great heart of wonder and curiosity. Now, I want to end with this. The roadmap that I'm going to offer with your leadership team before March, I'm going to ask you to do two things for me. Start thinking about these two things before you see this roadmap, okay? The first is, just like in the spirit of your own words for 2025, I'm going to ask you to be open to the possibility that this roadmap is an experiment. It's an experiment. See, we're gonna become really good scientists over the next 2 years because we're gonna learn some stuff that we don't currently know. See, a lot of communities have a desire to build a place for the spiritual but not religious, but they don't know how to do it. No one's cracked the code. No one has all the answers. But there is a willingness to try some things. There's a willingness to experiment with some possibilities, programs, events, right? Things. So I want to ask you, before you even see this work, come at it with a heart of experimentation, a willingness to see what the laboratory that we are creating can offer us, what it has in store for us. In other words, the knowledge that it will unlock in us. That's the first thing. But it's very important. First thing, we're all going to be good scientists. That's the first thing. Then the second thing I want you to think about before you see this document, second thing, is that I really think it's important, given where we are in our story, in our work together, I want to invite you to do what MLK did in his last days on this earth before he was assassinated. Everything that he encountered in his life leading up to his last days, he did all of it with the spirit of community, leaving no one behind, including everybody. So what I'm going to invite you to do, what I'm going to ask you to do, is not to simply read this roadmap with the thought of how things used to be or who we already know or who already comes to NCC. No. I'm going to invite you to think about this as, gosh, who in my networks needs to know that we're doing this? Who in my family of connection needs to know that NCC is fashioning itself to become something more than a church? Who in my network needs to know that there's finally going to be a place in Laguna Beach over and above organized religion and is not afraid to tell the world? Who in my network is going to be interested to know that there's going to be a place that is interested in helping them live the why, not the what of their lives? Who in my networks needs to know that there's a place where they can give their heart, their treasure, their energy, their soul, their money to this cause? Who in my networks needs to know that, wow, those NCC folks, they are stepping up and they are meeting the cause of the day. They are asking the right questions, not the questions that were asked 50 years ago. Who in my community can finally breathe and say, wow, thank God for NCC? Y'all can be seated. Y'all can be seated. Y'all can be seated. Okay, let's do this real quick. I know we're about to hit the 11 o'clock hour, but I just want to take a moment while our greeters take your offering. Thank you so much. I just want to take this opportunity to express my deep gratitude for the good work that is being done by our leadership team. Oh, y'all can go. Yeah, y'all can go. Yeah, thank you. That is being done by our board, our leadership team. We are working so hard on your behalf. We had a great meeting last week. Many of you were here. We got your approval to keep moving forward. We are working so hard on your behalf, and it's not easy. It takes a lot of work, a lot of meetings, a lot of time. And so if you just for me, can we just have a hand for our leadership team, those who are here and those who are not today? Thank you. Because it is not easy, but we are doing our best for you, and we'll keep doing that. And then I do want to just have a moment of gratitude in my heart for, again, the ceasefire that has been brokered in the Middle East. I'm grateful that we are able to celebrate that this morning, and I pray for its enduring quality. I pray for its special gift for the world. I pray that it continues this day and for the days to come. Reverend Patricia, would you come? Come on up for a moment. Would you come for a moment? I'm going to ask you to do something for me. Would you offer a prayer, not just for our kids in the Middle East, but for the work here and for the wonder of the work that is ahead? Would you do that for me this morning?
Good Lord willing.
All right. Thank you.
In this moment, where we're touched by the wonder of what is possible, holding on to the dream of newness, not going forward by looking in a rearview mirror, we call upon the great, gracious, magnificent wonder of all the guidance that we have. So we personally call on that we know what is ours to do, and we do it. Yeah. And as a community, we have a unification of a dream, and we will be led to know each next indicated step to take, which will be filled with all of the elements of the soul: joy, peace, strength, courage, gratitude, light, and love. And may all of these beautiful elements that are already within each and every one of us and everyone in the world who will call upon them, it will become so. And in this moment, we give gratitude that we can cooperate with the great spirits, the great love, the Creator, our each inner guidance to walk with us, talk with us, and lead us into a more beautiful way to live. And so it is.
And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, I'm grateful because we have such good lights like all of you, Reverend Patricia, the good work that we're doing together. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. And I'm thankful that we have this opportunity to be together. Cyrus, I realize I'm holding this, so just bear with me as I hold it. Thank you. And I'm grateful because I know the work we do is so critical. I thank you for that. And my commitment to you is over the coming weeks, I'll have something for you to read. It'll be presented by myself and your leadership team. And I really encourage your thoughtfulness, your intent, as Reverend Patricia said, your wonder, your curiosity, and ultimately your willingness to get on this roller coaster with me. Who's ready for a roller coaster ride? Who's ready for a roller coaster ride? Who's ready for a roller coaster ride? Well, I am. No. Yeah. Well, I want to ride it with you. I need a partner. I need some seat mates. Yeah, that's what I need. And I'm excited that I get to do that with you. Reverend Patricia, thank you for the prayer. If y'all would humor me for just one more time, could we just sing Let There Be Peace on Earth just once more? Stay where you are. I just got to hear it one more time. It'll bless my heart. Could we sing it again? Thank you.
Maybe with a little gusto.
So before you leave, if you would, as Roxanna, she's going to keep playing in the background, but I'm going to ask you to do something for me. Before you go, could we all just kind of come to the table and as you are led, pour some hope, some joy, and some concern into our bowl of love? Can we all do it? Come on up as you are able.